So what's the secret sauce that makes a car a bestseller? You might think it's all about sleek design or a roaring engine, but the real secrets, they're hidden deep inside the data. In this explainer, we're going on an investigation, and we're going to follow the clues to crack the auto sales code.
This right here, this is the billion-dollar question, isn't it? It's what car manufacturers are constantly trying to figure out. Is there some kind of secret formula, a perfect mix of features? Well, we're going to use data to piece the answer together, one clue at a time.
All right, so every good investigation starts by asking the right questions. Before we can find any answers, we need to know exactly what we're looking for. Let's open up the case files.
So here they are, our main lines of inquiry. What really makes people want to buy a car? Is it the raw power, or is it the price tag that seals the deal? And, which cars actually hold their value? And maybe most importantly, how can we wrap all this information up so it actually helps people make smarter decisions? These questions are going to be our guide.
Okay, our first move as data detectives is to survey the scene. We've got to get that big picture, bird's eye view of the entire auto market. That's how we'll understand the sheer scale of this thing and, spot the major players.
And here's that view. Just look at these numbers. The scale is absolutely staggering. We're talking $6 trillion in revenue. From over 271 million cars sold, these numbers are just massive, and they really show you how high the stakes are in this industry. Now, when we look a little closer at the data, a really important clue emerges. This market isn't an even playing field, not at all. A handful of manufacturers, we're talking Ford, Dodge, Toyota, they account for a huge slice of the pie. That tells us that brand power and, being an established name really, really matters.
Okay, now that we've mapped out the whole market, let's zoom in a little. Let's follow one company's story. By tracking its revenue year after year, we can start to uncover those key moments that really defined its success.
Just look at that number, 3,849%. You almost never see growth like that. It is an absolutely extraordinary spike. And it just begs the question, what on earth happened?
And here's the answer. The engine behind it all? Product innovation. This incredible surge wasn't a fluke. It was directly tied to the company launching new car models. It's just a perfect example of how fresh, new products can completely revitalize a business.
And this wasn't some one-hit wonder. The growth was consistent. First, revenue doubled. Then, we see that explosive period. And even after that, they kept up strong growth. This shows a company that is just on a powerful upward path. But growth isn't just about what you do, it's also about when you do it.
So this is where the data gets kind of fun and surprisingly specific. It gives us clues about when people actually buy cars. So it turns out more deals get closed on Mondays, but the biggest money, the highest revenue, comes in on Thursdays. Maybe that's when the more premium cars are sold. And if you want to move the most metal, August is your month. That is just gold for planning sales and marketing.
So, we know who the big players are and we know when people are buying. Now, let's get under the hood. What specific features in a car actually drive up its price or make it more popular? It's time to dig into the DNA of these vehicles.
Okay, get ready for another incredibly powerful number that just jumped right out of the data. 96%. This number represents an almost perfect link between two supercritical factors in a car's life.
And there it is, spelled out. The single best way to predict what a car will be worth in the future is what you pay for it today. This just goes to show how crucial that initial price and brand perception are. A premium price tag, if it's justified, can actually lead to much better value for the customer down the road.
All right, now this might look a little intimidating, I get it. But believe me, this is one of our most important pieces of evidence. It's called a correlation heat map, and it's basically like a truth serum for car specs. It shows us exactly how different features, like horsepower, engine size, fuel efficiency, are all connected to price and sales. Let's break down what it's telling us.
So what does all that color and all those boxes really mean? Well, it boils down to this, a really clear trade-off. If you want to charge a higher price, you pack in the horsepower and a bigger engine. But if you want to sell a lot of cars, the data is clear. Practical things like fuel efficiency and the type of vehicle, an SUV versus a sports car, that's what moves units. It's this fundamental choice between premium profit and mass market volume.
So we've gathered all the clues, we've analyzed the market, we've followed the money, we've looked under the hood. Now it's time to put it all together into the detective's final report. What's the verdict? What should the company actually do with all this amazing insight?
And here it is, The final blueprint for success. First up, double down on your winners. Focus marketing on the top models. Second, keep a balanced garage. You need those premium cars for profit and the high-volume cars for market share. Third, time your big launches for August when everyone's ready to buy. Fourth, invest in quality because that protects that all-important resale value. And finally, use all this data to build the right car for the right customer. That's how you win.
So our investigation has cracked the code for success using the data we have today. But it leaves us with one last big question. If data can tell us all this about yesterday's cars, what new secrets is it going to tell us about the car of tomorrow? Well, that's a mystery for another time. Thanks for joining the investigation.